Hi folks, I just bought a Sharp brand dehumidifier for a fairly small apartment. Definitely would work well for a closet that's full of clothing. In my case, I got a small apartment. I just hang my clothes up to dry in the room. Again, this is a Sharp brand. The model number is let's see, it's DW F65HT. So this one is a digital control model. I tried to find one that had analog switches to it, but I guess they don't make those anymore. So they're using these pretty complicated ones. So this is a smaller machine, but it pumps out a fairly high amount of it pulls out a fairly high amount of water in one day. This one's rated for 6.3 liters, I think, in one day. And I'll go over some of the features here. The outlet exit for the dry air that comes out on the top here. It has a little swivel cap so you can direct the air somewhat, but to let it come out freely, you just open it up all the way. I'll go over the switches here. This switch controls the actually it's got a bacterial killer kind of feature in it, and I think that uses like UV light or something like that to kill the bacteria as it's running the air through the machine. So right now that feature is turned on. It also says down here that it's got a child safety feature that you can disable the keyboard for the machine if you push this button for 3 seconds. So, and there it is. It's the child safety feature has been turned on. So it's good for kids, or it's good for people who have pets that know how to push buttons, huh? So I can sit here and push these buttons and nothing will happen in this machine. None of the settings will change. So the way that you disable that child safety feature is you push this for 3 seconds again, and it disables that. So then you can change your settings. So the next button here, let's see, 风亮. So this one this is the wind strength setting on it. So if I've got it set on a high, on a fast breeze, it's chugging out air at a pretty fast rate. This means it chugs it out at a slower rate. This means it's automatic. So I'm assuming on automatic mode, if the machine does not detect much humidity in the air in your apartment, it kind of shuts down the fan, and it may also shut down the cooling element on the inside that dehumidifies the air. So that is kind of like a power saving feature, I think. Not too sure about that, but that's what I think. So the next button settings, this is just a regular setting for just the plain old fan mode. It says it cleans the air, and what it means by cleaning the air is that if you've got this germicide killer thing turned on, it'll just run this thing in fan mode, and any air that goes through here will be killed, and it'll have the germs killed by this thing. If you have this turned off though, it's just regular fan mode with no special features. Right now I have this on a setting that's called continuous dehumidifying. That's a regular dehumidifying setting. This one right here is for clothing drying. So apparently if you've got a room that's filled with clothes that are all wet, I think what this means is that it's like a heavy-duty mode to try to help dry your clothes reasonably quickly. So, and that's the button here to switch between these different modes. This is a timer setting here. You just push the button to change the timing settings. Let's see. Right now I've got it set for 6 hours. It'll run for 6 hours and it'll automatically shut off. That is a kind of like a kind of a power saving feature. So you can set this to run you know, for 6 hours, and then you can go to work, and by the time you get home, this thing is turned off automatically. So that'll save you some power. So you can also set it for, right now I just clicked it again, and that means, and none of these are lit, so that means it's just going to keep running and running and running until you come back and turn it off. So I push it again, and it'll only run for 2 hours on the first setting. The second time it'll run for 4 hours on the next setting, and then I've got it set to run for 6 hours. So okay, so the next let's see here. The next setting is for basically it kind of like a heavy duty mode, and then just regular, like a regular mode. You can also, let's see, stop the machine that way too. So this is like a power, that's the main power button. So okay, let's see, how do I turn this back on? Actually, I think it has, I think what happens is that it's protecting itself right now, because it's basically, this is it's kind of works like a mini air conditioner. So if you turn an air conditioner off and then you want to turn it back on within, let's say, a minute, it won't. Some air conditioners won't allow you to do that, because the physical machine on the inside has coolant that needs to depressurize and settle out throughout the system. So I probably won't be able to turn this thing back on for like a few minutes here until the system on the inside equalizes. This is a button that indicates that the water container is full. So this thing pulls water out of the air, and it has a water bottle at the bottom right here that you can easily pull out. It's fairly high capacity. It looks like it holds close to about a liter and a half. It has a handle that pulls out that allows you to easily carry this to the sink or wherever you're gonna dump the water out at. So and the way you dump the water out is I just got one hand here. Is you pull, hold on a second. You pull the cap off, and you've got this container here it's already got some water sloshing around on the bottom here, and you just empty that out. It's got this little pink sponge thing that activates a switch that tells the system that it is full. So that's what it looks like. It blinks like that when it's full. So by the way, the machine will automatically stop when it is full of water. So that's kind of like a pseudo safety feature. So it also beeps when it's full too. So it will audibly remind you to empty out the water bucket on the bottom here. So okay, it's easy to pull this bucket in and out. Pretty easy. Once you put it in, then the full light turns off, assuming you emptied the container. The back here is pretty simple. You just pull it out. This pull-out panel has a very fine filter screen on it that filters coarse dirt, stuff like that. And this goes to the back dehumidifying element of the machine. So this screen, you clean it out, like, I don't know, once a month or however often it gets dirty. And it's very simple. That's pretty much it for this thing. It has a handle so you can carry it. And like I said, this probably is going to be shut down for a few minutes, until the machine resets itself. By the way, when you do use this, if you're transporting it or something like that, and you've got it, let's say, tilted sideways or something like this, the coolant on the inside is going to become unequalized, maladjusted or something like that. So when you tip it over like that, wait about 10 minutes before you actually turn the machine on, because the coolant's got to settle out. This thing designed to operate, in an upright upright position. So if you try to turn this on after you've tipped it over, it's probably not a good idea. It's not good for the machine. A lot of other like air conditioners are like that. In this case, this is not an air conditioner. This is a dehumidifier. So, but it works on a concept that's similar to an air conditioner. So the air that comes out of here is actually going to be a little bit cooler than the ambient air that goes in from the back. So one thing to keep in mind, if you're using this during the winter time, it actually might make your room a little bit cooler. So you might want to turn on a heater or something like that to compensate for the cooling effect of this. But in the summertime, it's great to have cool air, a little bit of extra cool air. So this will help a little bit in that respect, as like a pseudo mini air conditioner. So anyway, so this is a Sharp brand, which is really good. I think it's a Japanese brand. And this is the F65HT dehumidifier. I think it's a foreign brand, but it's made in Taiwan. I'm pretty sure it's a good deal. It's a good quality machine so far. Pulls a lot of water out of the air in one day, about 6.5 or so liters. Yeah. So anyhow, have fun. That's the review for this puppy. Take care.